30 seconds on turn on cam 5.
Do we ever go to Cam 3?
Good morning, Hornets, and welcome to today's special edition of Beech Grove Student Network. I'm Mrs. Dean.
And I'm Mr. Starks. Today we will be taking a look at the Derek Chauvin appeal, credit recovery, student involvement in our throwback theme, fall break, and as always, sports.
But first, let's toss it over to the one and only Mrs. Taft for this weekend's weather.
Good morning, Hornets. For the first day of October, we will have a high of 81 and a low of 54. The sun should be shining all day. Going into the weekend on Saturday, there will be a 70% chance of rain with a high of 79 and a low of 57. More rain should be coming in on Sunday with the high being 73 and the low being 63. Have a great weekend, Hornets. Back to you guys at the desk.
Former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin is trying to appeal his conviction from earlier this year. Eleanor has more.
Convicted murderer Derek Chauvin plans to appeal his conviction earlier this year on charges in the murder of George Floyd. According to a court filing Thursday, Chauvin aims to appeal based on 14 issues with his case, claiming the court in which he was tried repeatedly abuses discretion for numerous reasons, including denying Chauvin a change of venue, denying his motion to have the jury sequestered through the trial, and denying his request for a new trial. Chauvin was sentenced in June to 22 and a half years in prison after he was convicted on charges of second-degree unintentional murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter in the May 2020 killing of George Floyd. In an affidavit also filed Thursday, Chauvin said he currently did not have a lawyer after the Minneapolis Police and Peace Officers Association, which paid for his trial attorney, told Chauvin their obligation to pay for his legal representation terminated upon my conviction and sentencing. Chauvin is currently without any income besides nominal prison wages, he wrote, so he cannot afford private counsel for his appeal. However, when he applied for a Minnesota appellate public defender, he was denied representation, Chauvin wrote. He has since submitted documents to the Minnesota Supreme Court and asked that his deadline for an appellate brief filing be stayed until the court reviews his application. Typically, Chauvin would have 90 days from the imposition of his sentence to file an appeal. Chauvin's filing last Thursday also takes issue with the fact the court did not allow him to strike jurors he says were clearly biased and voir dire, the process in which prospective jurors are questioned and screened before being selected. Additionally, the filing says the court abuses discretion by only allowing limited evidence from a 2019 encounter between Floyd and police.
Students, if you have an FR in any class, you will be able to attend credit recovery. This means that during the first week of fall break, you're able to come into school and get your grade up to pass this 9 weeks. Be sure to work your hardest to get your grades up. Hornets.
Today, many students are participating in a throwback theme, bringing in many fun outfits.
Let's take a look.
Would you like to go?
As our first 9 weeks is coming to an end, many are excited for fall break. This is a great time to go to pumpkin patches, celebrate spooky season, and even just get some rest.
I know I'll be getting lots of rest, Mrs. Dean. Oh,
Kevin has more.
Kevin has more on what some of our Hornets will be doing for fall break. Let's take a look.
As we all know, fall officially started on the 22nd. And with fall break right around the corner, many of us have already made plans for the next 2 weeks. Personally, I don't even know what I'm doing, so here's Aiden on what he plans to do for break.
So, what are you going to do for fall break?
Well, starting fall break today, I'm going to a concert, which I think is a great way to start break. But after that, I'm going to be going to Wyoming to see family and visit some colleges, and I'm going to a football game out there. So I got a lot to do for fall break.
I also went out and asked Antonio on what his plans are too.
Alright, so what are your plans for fall break?
My plan for fall break is finishing this. Gonna help Mr. Green with the podcast room. Go ahead and try to take care of this. LED lights, furniture, finish painting. Pretty much I ain't got nothing else to do other than be on the game, so I'm gonna go ahead and get some community service hours in. Go ahead and have something new, open up new experiences, and yeah, have fun while doing it.
That's all for me. This has been Kevin Constant for BGSN.
For the first time, let's toss it over to Mr. Smith with today's sports.
Good morning, Hornets, and welcome to sports. In Beech Grove sports, the boys football team has a game tonight versus Cardinal Ritter Raiders. This game will take place at Marion University. The girls soccer team had a match last night versus Cecina Memorial. It ended in a tightly contested 1-0 loss, and the cross-country team has a meet tomorrow at Brebeuf at 10 a.m. Also in Beech Grove news, the girls basketball coach Selk will be holding a call-out meeting during lunch today, and trials will be held Monday, October 18th, and Tuesday, October 19th from 4:15 to 6:30. In the main gymnasium, show out Hornets. In NFL news, the Cincinnati Bengals took down the Jacksonville Jaguars 24-1, which moves the Bengals to 3-1 on the season. The Indianapolis Colts will travel to take on Miami Dolphins and former quarterback Jacoby Brissett. That game will take place at 1 p.m. on Sunday. In MLB news, the Cubs beat the Pirates 9-0. The Orioles beat the Red Sox 6-2. Yankees got one step closer to the playoff spot, beating the Blue Jays 6-2, and Astros took down the Rays 3-2, and Dodgers beat their rival Padres 8-3. Also in MLB news, the playoffs are right around the corner. Chris got more.
As the MLB regular season comes to a close, it's time to start gearing up for the postseason. Several teams have already clinched their division titles and punched their ticket to the playoffs. One would be the Tampa Bay Rays, who clinched the AL East with a current record of 98-60. With this record, that means the Tampa Bay Rays are the best team in the American League heading into the postseason. Another American League team that has clinched their division is the Chicago White Sox. With a record of 91-68, the White Sox have earned the top spot in the American League Central. Things are a little more complicated over in the National League. Two teams have clinched their division titles, and that would be the Milwaukee Brewers in the NL Central with a record of 95-64, and the Atlanta Braves in the NL East with a record of 86-72. Things get really complicated out west, where the San Francisco Giants are in a dead sprint with the Los Angeles Dodgers for the division title. With only 3 games to go, the Dodgers are 2 games back of the Giants for the division win. In the MLB, 2 of the best teams in each league that did not win their division earned their way into the playoffs as a wild card team. In the National League, the St. Louis Cardinals have already clinched the final wild card spot following their impressive 17-game win streak. They will be joined by the loser of the NL West division race between the Dodgers and Giants as the National League's wild card teams. The American League wild card race is one to watch. As of right now, the New York Yankees hold the first wild card spot, but the Red Sox and Mariners are hot on their tail. The Yanks are 1.5 games up on those 2 teams, but the interesting part is that the Boston Red Sox and Seattle Mariners are tied for the final spot. With only 3 games to go, I asked Yankee fan Jacob Skinner about how he is feeling about his team's playoff hopes.
So we only need to win two of 3 games left to actually make the playoffs, to clinch it. But we can win one if one of the other teams loses. So we just need to pitch better. Our hitting's elite because we have some of the best players in the MLB, but we just need to pitch better.
Playoff baseball is one of the best times of the year for sports. Make sure you tune in from October 5th through November 3rd to catch all of the postseason action. For BGSN Sports, I'm Chris Hammer.
That's all for sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Mr. Smith. That's all for today's edition of Beech Grove Student Network.
Be sure to follow us on social media at Beech Grove Student Network. I'm Mr. Stark.
And I'm Mrs. Deans. Have a wonderful Friday and fall break, Hornets.